I don't know why this time I was just like,
I always wait for it, and it has never happened, but
yet.
I still wait for it, and finally it has panned out. I'm gratified now. I'm satisfied.
Patience has been fulfilled.
Yes, patience truly is a virtue, for eventually you will see the... It's like Buddy Christ.
Oh, gee.
Don't forget, kids, Satan and I love you.
We all do.
All right, so welcome back for yet another fantastic movie review, which, I guess that's kind of subject to whether you enjoy our form of entertainment or not.
Right, and this one is one particular one where we've watched the first and second one, but we've also watched the first one like 3 times now.
I have seen the first one numerous times.
Which you had introduced me to this one back when we first got together. And
what stinks about this particular B horror movie is on your list of, during Christmas there are some traditions that a lot of us have, and particular movies are on that list. Like some people, you want to watch The Grinch, not like, Jim Carrey Grinch, but the cartoon. Or you have the Peanuts cartoons, and on and on and on. Well, there's 2 other movies. One is that stop animation like Rudolph that you said you like.
Oh, yeah.
And
I never remember what it's called until I see it. And I'm like, that's the one.
And then there's the one with Michael Keaton. So when I was looking things up for this particular movie, those 2 movies kept coming up because all 3 of them have the exact same name.
Yep. Tell them what we're doing.
Jack Frost.
And not the one that you guys are thinking of. This is Jack Frost from 1997.
Not the beloved cuddly wuddly, Yeah, no.
This is such a B-rated horror that it'll make your tickle bones tickle. I don't know.
Where exactly would one locate said tickle bone? Behind the taint. Your taints are going to be tickled.
Anyways, Tara introduced this one to me, and never seen it before, and it legitly is an awesome. What you expect in a B-rated crap.
It is everything you expect in a B movie. Like, they followed all the B rules. Again, 1997. The director is Michael Cooney.
Yes.
After an accident leaves murderer Jack Frost dead, laying in genetic material, the killer returns as a snowman to kill the man who sent him to be executed.
And in the beginning of the movie, and there's a whole build-up to this ride with, said Jack Frost.
He's being transported to his execution by 3 guards.
Yeah, the one in the back seat, then 2 in the front. Then you also have the small town cop, sheriff, that ended up, by chance, capturing Jack. Which, is it even the same actor?
Yes, it is.
In that memory thing?
Yes, it is.
It doesn't look anything like it.
Yep, same actor.
I was so confused at that part, because it shows, the sheriff ends up having this memory of when he accidentally caught Jack Frost. And I was so confused.
So at the time that he's being transported down the highway to his death, a tanker of sorts is delivering very questionable, grade A, icky poo radioactive material.
Yeah, very Hulk situation.
And the scene...
Oh, God.
The scene where all the molecules are mixing together.
Well, before that, though, it's the stop animation stuff where his body's being broken down into the snow.
Yeah.
And then that's when.
And then there's all this animation again to show all the molecules. I actually think that was probably the.
It was awesome.
The best done portion of the whole movie.
So Jack Frost, once human, now his molecules have formed into the only material that his body has touched during this chemical reaction, which is snow. So then his DNA gets mixed into the snow's chemical molecular system. They explain it later on in the movie, these two Dumbos that have this doctor go... We'll get to that part.
He's making it sound way more exciting than it actually is.
It's so cool. Like these are the movies that I look forward to watching because it's not bad to where... It's not like Trolls 2 bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's so enjoyable
really
to watch.
bad.
So anyway, so Jack, now figuring out that he has become a snowman, learning all of his new powers and what snowmen do. Hunting down this small town sheriff in, what's the town called?
Snowmington.
Snowmington.
Where they're having a snowman competition.
Spell that for me without looking it up. It confused me.
Snowmonton. Snowmonton.
Yeah, exactly. So when the sign came up, I'm like, like, that's what it was when we first watched it. I'm like, I'm not going to pronounce that town's name.
Now the deaths that Jack Frost brings about once he is in snowman form.
Still at the crash site.
They are outlandish.
Epic.
And he leaves one alive.
Yes, which eventually goes cuckoo. When the other police and FBI agents come up.
They're like, come on, we need to go talk.
And he holds his hand out to
you gonna help me out?
Stand up, and the guy just walks away. Yeah. Just leaves him there sitting, like, and he's got, like, Christmas shit around him, if I remember right. Yeah. Okay, and speaking of home, the next morning with the kid, first of all, and...
This is the most annoying child. He's right up there with the Troll 2 kid.
And he's a ginger, and neither one of the parents are gingers.
Hey, anybody can have a ginger. Anybody can have a ginger.
The kid's creepy.
And it's not even the whole ginger portion of it, and he's not really ginger.
No, but
he's more strawberry blonde.
This kid is literally creating these desserts made of poison.
He makes his dad oats, or oatmeal, and puts it all into a plastic bag and is like, here, Dad, you can take this to work. I made you breakfast and I made them special for you.
Like,
it's disgusting.
It's so foul.
It's so gnarly.
And the dad's like, yeah, son, I'll take it with me to work, and, does the whole, like, zip it up all happy. And no. I would have told my kid no.
There's even a scene later where he goes to throw them away and stops. And he stops because he hears his kid's voice. But Dad, I made those oats special for you.
Goes back to the trash can.
Plucks them out.
Throws them into his police squad car.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's a pause in police squad car, but there was. Anyways.
Well, it's squad car.
Yeah. There was a elongated pause, though.
Yeah, I know. You got a little mouthy with it, though. A little wordy.
A little bit. Anyways. So, Jack, who is on the hunt during this whole time, this Snowmington town, whatever you want to call it, has never had a murder, never had a killing. Nobody's ever died of unnatural causes, of anything else besides unnatural causes.
The old man.
So you have the first scene of the crime that comes up, and you have all these bimbo cops looking into the camera, and they're like, kind of looking, and then you see this frozen old man with his head back, mouth wide open.
There's like icicles sticking off of him and everything. He's shriveled looking, just.
And he had his throat slit, didn't he?
I believe so.
Un momento, por favor. Well, then there's the second murder, and that's when they all show up at the cop station. Remember that?
No, they showed up at the cop station because of the old man.
Okay, so, old man, recapping here.
People didn't start freaking out until there was the attack on the little boy. And the little boy actually has his head lopped off.
That's right, because he was picking on the sheriff's son, and Jack, who they don't know is, there, because the little boy is actually doing the pins on the snowman or the charcoal on the snowman and the carrot, and use the sled, if I remember right.
I believe that's what it was.
To cut the boy's head off.
Yeah, the bigger kids catch him, playing with the snowman and everything. Well, they want to take their sled straight through this kid's front yard, which happens to be right where the snowman's at. So he knocked the top off of the snowman. He knocked the head off the snowman. The head comes back, so snowman knocks the head off the kid. That's when the entire town starts going completely redonkulous.
Yes.
And they decide, oh, well, we're going to go out and find this killer ourselves. Blah, 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 blah. Your typical, ooh, we're scared.
And this is also when the sheriff tries to get a hold of the FBI, whatever, agents.
Yeah, and with questions.
To confirm whether Jack Frost had been, safely executed or not. In which they lie to him, but then end up showing up at the sheriff's department because the murders that are happening are obviously a direct effect of this goo stuff that they know about. They're carrying around a doctor with them that knows what's going on.
It's not even real FBI type people. They're supposed to be.
They're
supposed to be kind of like the whole MIB, only for genetic research.
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, kind of like a low grade military type thing.
And it's so funny is that
Agent Manners.
And they talk about it's a need to know thing, and
the acting is so bad.
They pull all this crap. Well, then there's a storm coming, in which they're like, oh, we need to bring in our backup, yada yada, and the sheriff's department people all start laughing at them like they're in this valley and this storm's gonna come and nobody can get in or out.
Which is hilarious because when they filmed it, that area was actually going through a drought, which is why there was no snow.
Super funny.
There was no snow. All the snow that they had brought in was foam, or it was cotton, or it was the machine blowing it.
Yep.
It was all fake snow.
In this entire movie, which is covered in snow. It's
about a snowman, and they're filming where there's a drought.
Hilarious.
And they don't have any snow that season.
So, Jack, during his murderous sprees, also, remember the one lady, I think it's like his third or fourth kill in with the Christmas tree lights?
Which is the mother of the boy who lost his head.
Yes.
Totally clueless kind of person.
Yes.
She's your typical mousy woman married to the asshole.
Yeah, which yeah.
Well, Jack makes it into the house. After killing her husband outside, Jack makes it into the house. It was by far one of the funniest kill scenes. The
arm that goes like this, and they only show this part of the arm of the snowman.
Oh, no. Slamming the head in and out of the box of ornaments. You can tell it's a dummy head.
And then every time she comes up, there's a new piece of an ornament stuck on her face somewhere.
And the whole thing starts with him putting an ornament in her mouth like you would for, like the apple in a pig's mouth that'll luau.
And then makes her crunch it, and it's so great.
Ties her up in Christmas lights, and then attaches her to the Christmas tree and turns the Christmas tree on.
It's so great. Well, so, along with this, you have, if I remember right, it's the sheriff's daughter.
No.
No, it's not the sheriff's daughter.
No.
But they break into the sheriff's house.
Okay.
Right?
So, the woman who was just killed by Jack, the dad who was killed by Jack, the brother had his head lopped off. She is their daughter.
That's right.
This person happens to be Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie.
Yes.
She's credited as Shannon Elizabeth Fadal. It is her first movie.
Yes.
And it is also her first nude scene.
Semi.
It's considered a nude scene. If you see this and you've also seen American Pie, you'll notice there are some differences. It's because she got her boob job done after doing this movie. So they're a bit more impressive in American Pie.
Well, there's a scene that happens with Jack Frost and her that I'm going to leave out, but it's freaking hilarious. So if anybody that's seen this movie or anybody that sees this movie...
I'm not leaving it out.
Oh, come on, leave it out. Leave it out. It's such a good part. It's such a good part. It has to do with the carrot.
Shannon Elizabeth is naked.
And a carrot.
That ought to be enough to get most 14-year-olds to watch.
Anyways, moving on. The Jack Frost ends up finding said sheriff and agents. And when Jack realizes that he can melt himself or bring himself down to go through doors, it's the funniest damn scenes.
You can see
the hose.
You can see the shadow of the hose
silhouette. Yeah.
Underneath the door.
And it's a water hose.
Spraying the water under the door.
And what it is the water leaks in and then he refreezes it and comes up. It's hilarious.
I'd like to know, okay, now the way they go after him to begin with initially is they use hair dryers. Oddly enough, a whole lot of hair dryers.
Like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if he's recreating himself into this room, the room is warm. Shouldn't he be a little melty?
Well, it's that perfect soft snow that you can make into a snowball and throw.
Oh, those snowballs that hurt like hell.
Yeah, those are good ones. No. But anyways, you heard it right. They use air dryers to melt him. But then he can't come back from, or he can, but it's elongated, like the time in which he can morph back. Because remember, his whole half of his face was gone for a long. What?
That wasn't how that happened. That was when he started. Dad and son get into the cop car. He starts coming in water form into the police vehicle, and Dad grabs the bag of the oats and smacks Jack Frost in the side of the face with it. And that's when they discovered that the kid didn't want Dad to get cold, so he put antifreeze in the oats. And it melted half of Jack's face.
Oh, I thought it was when they were trying to get the key in the jail area when the secretary used the...
no.
Right before that.
No, they ended up blowing up the police station with Jack in it, and when he came back and reformed, he looked like a freaking Picasso.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. My apologies. I had scenes mixed up there. What? What? But yeah, he did look like Picasso. Like, he had an arm up here, a leg over there, a head down over here.
But it turns out the secret ingredient to kill Jack is antifreeze.
Which, again, like I said, the kid made the freaking snacks out of poison.
He didn't want Dad to get cold.
Yeah, and that's actually what he says. So then they figure out that the antifreeze thing is what injures Jack. So then they get a truck.
Okay, this is about as redneck as you can get. They take the bed of a truck and they line it with a tarp. Now, I've seen people around where we live do this. Line it with a tarp and turn it into a pool.
Right.
Yeah. They put a butt ton of antifreeze in this.
To fill it. Yeah.
And then pushed Jack out of a window from the church, which was sitting right above where the truck was sitting. They backed it up right under this window.
In which the sheriff went with him. And this is where I was like, really?
Yeah, the sheriff flies out the window with Jack, which they succeeded in doing that shot in one take.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So they land in the antifreeze, and of course Jack's going crazy, arms are flaring everywhere, and the sheriff is literally swimming in antifreeze, punching the shit and kicking the shit out of Jack. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, dude, you're in antifreeze.
Your eyes would be burning and all sorts of crap.
Nose,
oh yeah, you'd be hurting.
And he's in there for minutes. Like,
you would think he would at least, I don't know, sting a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. That was probably the worst scene to me out of the entire movie was that part. However, the kid ends up finding an arm of Jack's. They throw it into the antifreeze, and then the
town jugs up all the antifreeze.
Conclusion was to put them all into separate things,
and they bury it. And as you're coming to your close of the movie, all of a sudden the antifreeze bottles start to glow. And then it's that whole, like, the end.
Laughing
or
in the
is
background.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which we've watched the second one.
The second one is awful.
Yeah.
It's not even worth doing a review on.
No.
It is that bad.
And that was the same thing like with Thanksgiving 2-3. It's kind of the same thing where they completely butchered the movie.
To their credit, they did bring back the same actors
Yes.
from the first
Yes.
one. I'll give them that.
They did.
But it wasn't even worth
horrible.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't even worth it.
But I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5 just because of how funny it was, the amusement of it, the bad acting, the hilarity of even a famous actress now was in it, and that was her very first movie. Mm-hmm. It had what you want in a B-rated movie. It wasn't drawn out. It like Trolls 2, where you're just waiting for the movie to be done. It had its funny scenes. It had its kill scenes with like the icicle shards. Like, it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay, my partner in crime here is far nicer than I'll give it a 3, but that's only because it's teetering on the cusp of a 2.
Hey, that's fine. To each their own.
I think there were a lot of things about it that could have been amped up. I mean, if you're going to go with something that cheesy, gore it up.
Well,
I mean, they really could have gored it just a little bit further. Okay. There were some inconsistencies here and there that were kind of difficult to ignore. The agent coming in was kind of a douche.
Well, of course he's an agent. That's the point of making him a douche.
There were some things about it that I just couldn't ignore.
Hey,
I will
fair.
keep watching it though, and I do.
Yeah,
that's on
fair.
my list of, as I was stating, holiday tradition for movies to watch through Christmas. And Jack Frost comes in every single time because it's so awful.
But to me, it's a good awful. I enjoy watching it. I would gladly watch it anytime, even during the summer when it's not cold out.
You can find Jack Frost on Hulu.
Hulu
and Prime.
We did purchase ours on Prime.
That's right. Yeah, or was it Hulu? No, it was Shudder. It's Shudder and Prime.
Yeah, not Hulu. Shudder and Prime. We did purchase ours though on Prime.
Yes. The first one was worth the purchase. The second one was not.
That's correct.
Not. Don't do it.
Thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thank you, and hopefully all of your snowmen are on the up and up in your front yards.
Put the carrot in the right spot.
And children, no antifreeze in the oats. We know you want Daddy warm, but we call that murder. You all have very, very pleasant nightmares.